I'm so happy you decided to come back for another session. So the last session that we had, we talked about the fact that you just discovered that you were pregnant and you were feeling just a little overwhelmed with how that would affect you, your family, and how school is going so far. Is that right? Okay, so it's been a week, so how are things going?
It's still the same. I kind of don't want to. I'm still like in the same place. Still don't know what I want to do, and I kind of don't want to let other people know yet. So, kind of just in the same place.
Okay, so far it's been same old since the last session. Have you been able to try to unbox with anyone else? Like Patrick Young?
I've just been like keeping to myself. Like when like people invite me to go out, I just like don't do it, and like so like the person like that I was dating or seeing, whatever, I kind of stopped talking to him, and he's like trying to figure out why. Like it wasn't like a bad breakup or whatever. It was just so like we were still talking, but I don't know what to do about it now.
So that person that you were seeing, was that the person that got you pregnant, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that make you feel, like not being able to speak to that person about like what's been going on with you?
Kind of guilty, but also like I'm kind of also like, well, like it's like I'm pregnant, like not like him, so I feel like I should have like more of a say in what happens. So like I kind of want to just like figure out like what I'm gonna do first before I talk to him about it, so I can be like, this is like what I want to do, and then like, maybe like bring him into the loop. I don't know.
Okay, so what you're saying is that right now you're feeling like this is more of a personal decision before you let anyone else in. You want to be sure of yourself and what you want to do before, especially letting the father know what's going on.
Yeah, so like I definitely feel like it should be my decision, but like I also feel like he should know. Like I don't like not want him to not know. Like I just don't think right now is the time to tell him, at least like for me personally, because I feel like I need, like you said, I need to know where I'm at first, and I think that's the most important thing. So if I feel like if I bring him in also, then that's just going to confuse me more, because then I feel like he will have like a lot of opinions about it, and then like it might change my decision in a way that like might be because I feel bad about it, not because it's what I want to do. So I think me knowing what I want to do first would be the best option.
Okay, so how do you think he would feel once he finds out what's been going on with you?
I hope he'll be supportive. He's like a really nice guy. It's just like I don't know like how he will react to the fact that he may or may not be like have the responsibility of being a father, depending on what my decision is. And like I don't know if that's gonna be like he wants to be like, if I, let's say like if I have an abortion, like I don't know how he'll feel about that, or like I don't know if he's gonna take it this like feel the same way I do about how it's my decision, and he's kind of like, I'm just letting him know, especially in that case, or like in the case of adoption, or like I'm giving the baby up so he like won't have any like say really in like what goes on. And like versus like me keeping the baby, and like me raising it by myself, or like the both of us like keeping the baby, where it's like he's involved. So I don't know. I think it's all gonna depend on what the decision is.
Okay, so besides like wanting to know where you're at first, what do you think are some of the reasons why, like especially when it comes to him, that you're not ready to let him know?
I think the reaction. Yeah, I think that's why I don't want to tell anybody, because like I was never supposed to be that person that like got pregnant while they were in school, like I like was supposed to have my life together and like be doing all these things, and like I was supposed to graduate, go to grad school, and like those are always the plans, and now like there's a hitch in the plan, so don't know how everybody's gonna react to it. So it's more of like afraid of the reactions.
Okay, so, when you were talking, you just said that you didn't wanna be that person. Can you elaborate a little more on what you mean by that?
Yeah, so like in like my family and my friend groups and all the people I know, like it's like kind of one of those things where like you don't have like a child before you're married, or like you don't have a child before, like if you're not in a stable relationship and you're in like a stable place. So like it's basically you don't have a child until you're ready, and it's like a plan to have your child. So it's like not necessarily it has to be planned, but like you're like at that stage in your life where you should be having a child. So like I'm not in that stage of my life, so I don't know how, like it's kind of like I don't know how I'm gonna be able to juggle everything if I do keep it, and like things like that.
So, would you say that you feel like you disappointed yourself in becoming that person that you didn't wanna be?
I think on some level, yeah, because it's kind of like the like I used to like say about people who did that, like how could that happen? Like we all know, like use a condom, like be on birth control or whatever. Like choose one method, choose both methods, like be smart about it or whatever. So I like never thought I would be that person that would end up being pregnant. So it's interesting to be on the other side and have to like I guess confront like what I've been saying about other people.
Okay, so, you mentioned like you're now being on the other side, so how do you think like being pregnant, has changed you so far?
I guess it's more of like, look, like what I see is not always the case. Like that's definitely like a bigger thing that I'm thinking about now when I'm like talking to people or like looking at other people, whatever. I'm not necessarily making like a snap judgment about their life anymore. So like now it's like, oh maybe like it was a mistake, like maybe they're just having a rough day, or like whatever the case may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be about like people who are pregnant or like have children or anything like that. It's more of like maybe I just need to not judge people so much based on like first appearances, or like let my like misconceptions, I guess, like cloud how I look at people.
So, what you're saying is that like now that you're pregnant and you realize that you've become that person, it's necessarily made you a little more sensitive to what other people might be experiencing now that you're able to experience it for yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've noticed that a lot more.
Okay, and would you say it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing because like I wouldn't want to be judged like that. So like obviously I shouldn't be doing it for to other people, because it's important to like I recognize that like what happened was a mistake, and it wasn't like I planned for it to happen. Like I didn't like make these like decisions and like kind of disregarded what was gonna happen, but it's like it just happened. So like I can't like there's a cause and effect, but it's like you can't change the cause and the effect. So like why dwell on it? So like it's rather like look at that person, they're dealing with it, and like they're like still like living their life, they're still doing what they need to do, and like I kind of have to figure out how to do that now, because I need to.
Okay, so far, like we've discussed that you needed to figure out whether or not you want to tell the father, and you're a little conflicted about that due to his reaction. but in the meantime, while you've been trying to juggle that decision, you've also realized a change in yourself because you experienced like being on the other side, as you mentioned, and it's made you a better person and being more sensitive for other people's feelings. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just mentioned that you wanted to figure out like how to move on to that based on what you see other people doing. So have you like had any type of plan for that?
To talk to other people who've been in my situation, or
Like how, like what plan have you like tried to think of in order to figure out and move on with your life, as you said that you watched others?
so what I've been trying to do is like weighing pros and cons of both, and like how I would feel about like I guess like after, and so that's been really difficult for me to like kind of like putting it in black and white and like on paper, I guess, and like just trying to make a decision. Like I'm really bad at that, like trying to make decisions. So I'm kind of, I guess like it's really just me trying to figure out what I want to do, because in the end, like sometimes a pro and con list isn't gonna really decide what I want to do. It's based on like how I feel. Like even if the like con list is like super long, like if that's like what I feel is right, I'm gonna do it.
So what about making the pro and con list did you say was difficult?
Just like thinking further, like trying to like figure out what the pros are, what the cons would be, and like thinking of consequences, I guess, of like decisions is like